Welcome to SSA Architecture, your trusted partner in making your vision for land and property a reality. In today's video, we'll walk you through an important part of the land development process, understanding zoning laws and how to navigate them. Whether you've recently purchased land or are considering doing so, we'll explain how zoning affects your plans and how to get approval for your intended use. Today, we're diving into a question we get a lot here at SSA Architecture. Can I use this land for my intended purpose? If you've bought or are looking at a piece of land, you may be wondering how zoning laws impact what you can and can't do on that land. Let's break this down into 4 simple questions to help you understand the process. First, let's answer the big question. Can you use the land for your intended purpose? Every piece of land has something called a zoning designation. Zoning laws are local regulations that control how land can be used in different areas. Think of it like a city's rulebook for property. Zoning will tell you if a property can be used for residential homes, a commercial business, industrial development, or something else. To find out if your land is zoned for your intended purpose, you'll need to look up the zoning map for your area. This is something we can help with at SSA Architecture. We'll review the zoning for your property and let you know if your plan is allowed. If the land is already zoned for what you want to do, great. But if it's not, don't worry, there are ways to work with the zoning laws. So, what happens if the land is not zoned for your intended use? This is where things get a little more involved. But don't worry, there are a few options. Let's go over them. First, you may need to apply for a zoning change, also called rezoning. This means you'll submit a request to change the zoning designation of the land. For example, you might want to change it from residential to commercial. This process typically involves submitting an application, providing details about your proposed use, and attending public hearings. It's important to note that rezoning is not always guaranteed. It's subject to approval by the local city or county authorities, including the Planning Commission and City Council. Another option is to apply for a special use permit. Sometimes, even if the zoning doesn't match your intended use, a special use permit can allow for certain exceptions. This permit lets you use the land for something that's not typically allowed in that zoning area, but with specific conditions. Lastly, if the zoning regulations are too strict, you might be able to apply for a variance. A variance is an exception to the zoning rules based on specific circumstances. This could be the right option if your land use request doesn't fit perfectly with the zoning, but you can justify why it makes sense. Now, you might be wondering, am I guaranteed to get approved for the use of this land through the process? Unfortunately, there's no 100% guarantee. The approval process depends on a lot of factors, including the compatibility of your proposal with the surrounding area, the local community's input. People who live near the property may have a say in what happens there, whether your project aligns with the city's long-term planning goals. Approval is also subject to review by local authorities, like the Zoning Board, Planning Commission, and City Council. But don't worry, we'll help you build a strong case for your project. Next, let's talk about timing. How long does this process take? Well, the timeline can vary based on where your land is located and the complexity of your request. Generally, the process takes anywhere from 4 to 6 months, though it can be longer in some cases. There are multiple steps in the process, including public hearings, reviews by different city departments, and approval from various local boards and councils. Each of these takes time, and sometimes issues may arise that need additional reviews. So, how much does this process cost? The fees can range depending on what type of request you're making. For example, a simple request such as opening a liquor store in a strip mall may go through very quickly with minimal changes needed. Meanwhile, changing a residential home to a business may be sent back multiple times with change requests, may be hampered by local residents' concerns, and might need the help of a lawyer or consultant. The more complex your case, the more it will cost you. You can have an architecture firm such as ourselves complete a due diligence report prior to you purchasing or leasing the property that may give you a better idea of what to expect. As you can see, the process of changing how land is used can be a little complex, but it's something we at SSA Architecture are well versed in. If you're thinking about buying land or need help navigating the zoning process, we're here to help. From understanding zoning to preparing applications and gathering support for your project, we can guide you through the process every step of the way. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more educational content. If you have any questions or need help with your land development project, don't hesitate to contact us at SSA Architecture. We look forward to helping you bring your vision to life. See you in the next video.